Hey guys, on today's episode of the Career Packs podcast, I want to talk about being productive. I think there's been a lot of craze around the world and social media about the emphasis of why it's important to be productive. I want to chat about that a little bit today. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into today's episode. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Career Packs podcast. My name is Neil Patel. I'm the host of this podcast. Today, I want to talk about being quote unquote productive. I feel like there's been a lot of craziness and emphasis on productivity in the world. Get up, get this done, do this, do that. And I think it's almost become a little bit toxic. It's become this new trend to show how productive you are. And it's shared in the most non real way sometimes. Everyone is out here giving tips and strategies and whatnot on how to get stuff done. And to be frank, I might be that guy right now too. But I promise you, I actually have something useful to say. Please don't click off. And I probably sound like every other person that you've heard productivity tips from. However, I'm not gonna give you any fluff or any like BS advice or guidance on, hey, you have to do this 10-step thing to become more productive. No, it's actually pretty simple. So there's a few things that I really like right now and have helped me flip the switch on being able to do a daily podcast, make videos on the side on TikTok, on YouTube at times, which YouTube I'm inconsistent with, manage my relationships. I'm also going to be taking 4 classes on the side starting on the 21st. There's a lot. And with that comes with the ability to know how to be productive and get things done within a given amount of time. And most importantly, I don't want to make it sound like I'm able to manage all this crazy stuff and it's an extraordinary feat because it isn't. There's people all around the world who do the same thing and manage 10 times the amount of things that I may be managing in my life. So that's not the point. The point is, how can we be more productive and get the things that we need to get done done? And I've asked myself this question numerous amounts of times with everything that I'm doing. Before I answer that, we have to figure out why it's so hard to be productive for myself as well. I came across this video that I was watching while I was doing some digging for this episode, and it's something called death by a thousand cuts. And what this means is in our day to day, we have so many little tasks that we get caught up in. When we wake up, our mind, if we, if you check your phone or if you check your email or if you check your messages first thing in the morning, your mind just creates this mental map of like, oh, I have all these small tasks that I need to complete today. And I fall into this hole myself where you get up and like, oh, okay, I have to go walk my dog. I have to go run errands. I have to go get groceries. I need to call my insurance company. I have to return these Amazon items. I have to go buy, I don't know, salsa and cheese and lettuce for dinner. And then all these tasks, they just add up. When we start doing them, we do these little tasks, but before we know it, our day is over. And it's like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to go do it tomorrow. And the actual high priority tasks that move the needle forward, you didn't get much done. And this has happened to me, like I said, countless amounts of times where my mind is in a million places. I tell myself I have all these things I have to get done, and I focus on those small things. But where my priorities are, they never end up getting checked off the list. That's how a majority of the world operates. And it's a reason why most people can't be productive is because they focus on the small daily tasks. So how do we minimize that? How do we put effort into the actual high priority tasks? Because I think this whole being productive has become dramatically overcomplicated, in my opinion. It's rather simple. And by the way, this took me a long time to figure out. I don't think I have it fully figured out yet because I still get distracted. I still have things I need to work on, like we all do. But there's 3 simple things that I keep in mind. The first one is understanding that less is more. We have to minimize everything. When I say minimize everything and less is more, reduce the amount of things that are crossing your mind at any given time. So if I sit down to get a task done, what can I do to minimize all the brain activity that is going on outside of the task at hand? How I do that, or how we can do that, is by removing distractions. And this all probably sounds so cliche, but it really is. I think with all the people who give these productivity tips, I guess you could put me in that category as well. Most people, they tend to overcomplicate it. They give you all these steps and guides when it's not. So if this sounds cliche, it's because it is. It's really that simple. Remove all distractions from your workspace. And once you do that, if you throw your phone in another room, put your iPad away, you just turn things off. You're in a quiet space. You just have you and your work. It's mind blowing what you can actually get done when there's no technology around you. Mainly your phone. The phone, yesterday I have a funny story. Yesterday I was doing a journal on my phone. I was on my laptop just writing down my thoughts, and my phone was right next to me. And I journaled down how I was being focused on my thoughts and my words, and I was able to get them down, but I couldn't get over the fact that my phone was just next to me. And your phone sometimes is almost like this. It has so much energy to the point where it almost hovers and looks, it's like a person staring at you, and you're trying to avoid eye contact with it because you don't want to have this awkward interaction or make that awkward eye contact. That's almost the vibe that your phone next to you has, where it's like, oh my god, my phone is right next to me. Like if there's a buzz, if there's a ding, you're so conditioned to just check it automatically. And me right now, as I'm recording this podcast, not having my phone around me, like I see, like my phone is on the other side of the room across the desk. Like I could see my phone, right? I should probably throw it in the living room, but just my phone not being around my desk space and my computer and my desktop, it does a lot. It's a big boost in removing my distractions because I don't care for my phone right now. It's literally my mic, my laptop, and my mouse. That's it. And then the other thing that I've pulled up, I'll tell you in just a second. But the less clutter, the better. And every piece of clutter that I have around me right now, you guys obviously can't see anything like what's behind the screen. I have books to the left of me, I have books to the right of me, I have my iPad that's shut off, and I'm not on my iPad much these days. I usually do everything on my Mac. I have my hard drive, or my SSD. I have my mics. I have my sunglasses. I don't know why my sunglasses are here, and that's it. Everything around me has to do something with creating. So when I'm in this chair, my mind is just constantly in creative mode and doing mode and work mode. So less is more. Minimize things. Clear your workspace. Get rid of your phone. Reduce your distractions. It'll help you get a lot more done. The second thing that can help us be more productive, get a timer. Start doing work with a timer. There's this thing called an egg timer that you can go and buy on Amazon. Oh, or no, it's a yeah, I think it's called an egg timer, and then there's kitchen timers as well. Either one works. They're like between like 9 to 20 bucks, depending on how nice of a timer you want. I recommend getting one that's like less than 10 bucks. But that timer, it does wonders. You can either get the physical one, or there's this a website called online-stopwatch.com. I use that where it covers the entire screen while I'm doing work, and I'm just staring at the time counting down. It's actually going right now. I don't know. Well, I don't want to flip the entire screen, but I use that for a majority of the time when I do work. Is have this stopwatch screen on. I did have a kitchen timer, by the way, like a month ago. I bought a little kitchen timer, but it was faulty and it didn't work, so I just returned it. I never bought another one, but I like this online stopwatch, so I've been using that. You can set a timer for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, however long, but just work. And whenever this is my standard, whenever I have to get up and pee, or I give in to looking my phone, or I have to pick up an important call, I have to go make a sandwich, whatever, just pause the timer because you're not actually working. Just pause it. So if you worked for 12 minutes and you have to get up and go do something, just pause it. But if you really want to stay disciplined and stick it out and really be productive and get all your work done, don't do anything until that timer hits zero. And then once it hits zero, take a 5, 10, 15-minute break, come back, set the timer again, and get more stuff done. This can be applied to your work from home job. Like for example, me having to get these videos and podcasts done, having to get a presentation done, having to write a paper, schoolwork, studying for exams, anything. And this has been a big hack for me because I realize how much I can actually get done in any given amount of time. I'm making a video about this on my TikTok soon about Parkinson's law, where your work expands for the time that you allow it. So if it's a task that is actually a 30-minute task, but if you give yourself 4 hours to get it done, you'll get it done in 4 hours when you could have just gotten it done in 30 minutes. So giving yourself this threshold of time for you to get a task done is so vital. And you'll realize that, oh, wow, I can actually work faster, be more productive, and get things done quicker if I just give myself less time. But get a timer. Timer has been huge for all the stuff that I do with, my work, podcast, scripting, editing, anything. And the last piece of advice that I would want to give to anyone looking to be more productive is this is my own personal method. It's called the ABC bucket method. So you can either use a paper and pen, or you could do this on the Notes app, which is what I like to prefer, or which is what I prefer and the way I do it. But there's bucket A, bucket B, and bucket C, and you just list it out. So no matter what, the goal is with these three buckets, at the end of the day, you must complete all the tasks in at least one bucket. And the way I differentiate each bucket A is the most difficult and high priority tasks. Bucket B, less priority but still important. And bucket C is secondary tasks that can wait for another day. They're still important. You want to get them done, but it's okay if you don't. You could do them the next day. But as long as you have your high priority tasks done first, that's good. So I have these three buckets. People also like to do primary and secondary tasks. It's simple. Write down three things that are most important and write down the secondary list of three things that are also important, but you would give yourself a break or be a little bit more kinder to yourself if you don't get it done that same day. So I'll give you guys an example. I'll give you guys an example of what my to-do list looked like today, which I'm going to use these three bucket examples. So bucket A, podcast number 203, script, film, edit, schedule. Number 2, film and edit TikTok video about Parkinson's law, which I just mentioned, which I was going to do. And lastly, upload a short form piece of video or find more shorts for or from my podcast. So essentially making clips for all the podcasts. So those are my three things in bucket A. Those are highest priority, things I must get done. Bucket B, get oil change for the car, which I did this morning. Read 5 to 10 pages of a book. Either do that, journal, or do a thought dump. I've been writing a lot more, and I've done when I say a lot more, I've done it for the past couple days. Just writing down my thoughts, getting all my ideas down on paper. I have this new idea that I'm exploring of doing in the morning. It's called the morning pages. I'll probably make an episode specifically about that once I actually start doing it. It's an idea in my head, something I want to implement. And once I do it, I'll talk about it. And lastly, script your next TikTok video or find an idea at least. So that's bucket B. Oil change for the car, read, and script the next video. And then bucket C, go visit my sister tonight and hang out with her and the kiddos, list a MacBook up for sale, return wheel locks because they were the wrong size. So you guys see what I'm doing there? All my tasks in each bucket, like it's high priority, but not that important. And then bucket C is just miscellaneous things like, okay, I want to go hang out with my sister. I haven't seen her in a little while. Go hang out with her and the kids, spend some time. List my MacBook up for sale, which I've been meaning to do for I don't know, weeks on end now, months actually. And return wheel locks because they're the wrong size, which is something I found out this morning when I went to go get an oil change for the car. My buddy told me that, hey, these wheel locks are the wrong size. Now I have to go return them. To be frank, I won't get that done today. But this is just a good way of getting your priorities down onto paper or on an app and moving the needle that way, getting your day done in this specific way. And most days, if I'm being even more vulnerable and honest, I'll have of these 9 things, right? I'd probably get 4 or 5 or 6 of them done, but they'd be spread out. So in bucket B, I got the oil change for the car. I'm going to write or do a thought dump later. I will have this podcast obviously out, which is non-negotiable every day. I'll have filmed the TikTok video, but not have fully edited it. I'll upload the shorts, but not find the shorts for the podcast for the weeks that are coming. So you see how at the end of the day, no matter, even if it is high priority or secondary priority or tertiary, I'm still getting things done. 5 out of the 9, 6 out of the 9 things are still being hit consistently. And when you build that momentum for a long period of time, you are being productive. You are actually getting things done. Now, ideally, you want to just get high priority things done first and then move on to the other stuff. It's something called eat the frog, eat the hardest thing, or get the hardest thing done early in the day. And then for the rest of the day, you can do all the other minuscule miscellaneous tasks. But this is just what worked for me. I just call it the ABC bucket method. And yeah, and the last tip that I want to give, it's kind of a bonus tip if you want to call it, make it hard for people to bother you. So when I say putting your phone in a different room, that's what I mean. People can't reach out to you. Put your stuff on do not disturb. Don't give out your phone number to people that often. Stay stay private with how people can get in touch with you because I think this reigns true more for people who run businesses or have a higher people need their time and energy more. So if you're one of those people, this probably applies a little bit more to you. If you're like a manager or a director, or if you have some sort of high level job, that one applies to you a little bit more. Just make it hard for people to suck your time, and when you do that, it's easy to be productive because it's just you and your work. And the last bonus tip I'll give, I didn't even write this one in there, like in my docs. I was going to talk about this, but I think an empty calendar is good for being productive. I know that kind of sounds counterintuitive, but think about it like this. If you have all of your, let's just use meetings, for example. That's like the best example that I could think of right now. If you have meetings, or actually, let's use classes. I think classes are great. I did this in like the 2 years I was in college. I would stack all my classes on like 2 days throughout the week, like 2 or 3 days. So let's say like on Monday and Wednesday, I would have four classes on Monday, 5 classes on Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I have no classes, or maybe just 1 or 2 where I would have a discussion, maybe 1 lecture. And what this does is I feel like I have the entire day off to do whatever else that I want, and I can adjust my schedule accordingly to the things that are high priority. So if I have 4 classes on Monday, I know that I'm gonna have, a lot of work to do until the next class. Well, okay, now I can break it up into certain components. On Tuesday in the morning, I'm going to focus on this class. Then I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go play basketball. I'm going to come back. I'm going to work on a video, which, by the way, I didn't work on videos in college, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. After I work on the video, I'm going to do this work for the other class. And then I'll do this work for the third class. And then at night, I'll be able to hang out, have fun with friends. And then the next day, I have 4 more classes after that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, same thing. You get to schedule things out with how you want to be productive. And the calendar, I guess necessarily the calendar isn't empty, but you get to be the manager of your calendar, not other things being put on the calendar for your time to be taken away by. It's not like, okay, you have classes from 9 to 11, you have a 1 hour gap, and then you have another class, and then you have a 3 hour gap, then last class, and that same schedule, if it gets spread out across 5 days, that can be annoying. And I didn't like that. So having an empty calendar, it's good for myself as someone who's creative, filming things and thinking of ideas at times or all the time. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know that, like, again, there's been a lot of crazy behind the productivity life. But quick recap, death by a thousand cuts. We tend to put all these small minuscule tasks throughout the day. Because of that, we don't get high priority tasks done. And if you really want to be productive, understand that less is more. Minimize things, reduce your distractions, put your phone in a different room, reduce all the clutter. Number 2, get a timer, get an egg timer or a kitchen timer or an online stopwatch timer. It helps out a ton. If you start doing work with a timer, it'll make you understand that you're able to get a lot more done in less time and with a timer than you thought you could without a timer. And lastly, use the ABC bucket method. Bucket A, high priority. Bucket B, still important, but not as priority. And then bucket C is just your small secondary miscellaneous tertiary tasks that if you don't get done, they can wait for another day. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, share this with a friend. Follow me on all socials at the Career Pact Podcast. And if you want to do me even a bigger favor, leave a 4 or 5 star review on Spotify. It would help me out a ton. I appreciate you guys so much. I feel like I say it all the time. I get humbled every episode knowing that someone on the other end is listening. So, like I always say, guys, take care. Tell someone that you love them and go do something nice for someone today because they genuinely deserve it. I look like a mess. I have my hair all over the place. I got acne. I need to go shower still. But hey, got to get this work in. Love y'all. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.